In my previous video, I talked about if you use UniFi routers and you want to configure the layer 3 routing using your L3 switch, what you can do to achieve network isolation by using ACL. So in this video, we will discuss what if you use pfSense instead of UniFi routers. In my lab environment, I run a pfSense. As you can see in this pfSense web UI, I have two regular VLANs defined, VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. And in UniFi network controller, I have two other VLANs configured, VLAN 66 and VLAN 88. And at the same time, I also need to let the network controller know the two pfSense VLANs, right? VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. As you can see, the router is third-party gateway, meaning pfSense here. And for VLAN 66 and 88, let me click one as an example. As you can see, the router is the layer 3 switch. It's a simple lab setting for 4 VLANs. And then in the pfSense side, you can see I have another VLAN. It's for VLAN 4040. In the right side, in UniFi network controller, you can also see VLAN 4040. It's for special inter-VLAN routing created automatically when you define the layer 3 switch VLAN routing. So then in pfSense side, we need to create VLAN 4040 correspondingly. To make the routing works, especially between the pfSense VLANs and the UniFi switch VLANs, we need to create static routing. So let's check it. Let me go to system routing. We need to first define a gateway. Basically, the gateway runs within the layer 3 switch. Here you need to specify the gateway IP address. This is something you need to SSH into the UniFi switch to find it out. Let me quickly show you. This is the SSH session. I already logged on to the UniFi layer 3 switch. And let me run the command show IP interface brief. Here you can find this interface VLAN 4040 and you can find the corresponding IP address. It's a special one ending with .3. If you are lucky, you only have one layer 3 switch in your network. It's very possible the IP address is guaranteed to be something .2. But here you see .3 because I also have other layer 3 UniFi switches in my network. So that's why I need to find the exact one by using SSH. So I get this IP address and then I put to the left side pfSense configuration for the gateway. Then I need to define the static routes. So for the two VLANs managed by switch from pfSense side, pfSense is not aware of the existence of the two VLANs at all. But here you can designate the subnet. You see this subnet is for the VLAN 66. This one is for VLAN 88. So by using this static routes working with the gateway, pfSense can communicate with the layer 3 switch. So the routings among the 4 VLANs, they will work. And then, of course, to make the routing work, we need to create the corresponding firewall rules. So let me quickly show you. For example, for VLAN 4040, I have any-to-any, just to simplify the scenario. For VLAN 10, any-to-any, VLAN 20, any-to-any. You won't see VLAN 66 and 88 here because they are not managed by pfSense. You shouldn't have the VLAN 66 and the VLAN 88 here. This video is not about general discussion regarding pfSense and the layer 3 UniFi switches. If you are interested, check my series about the detailed configuration. I have 5 videos posted about a year ago. This is the initial setup to validate current access situation. I have 4 Linux virtual machines for the 4 VLANs, and by default, I expected this type of access, so they should be able to communicate with each other at this moment. Let's validate it. In the lower part of the screen, you can see 4 Linux sessions. So from VLAN 10, let me ping VLAN 20, no problem. From VLAN 20, ping the UniFi switch VLAN 66, no problem. From VLAN 66, ping the other VLAN on the same UniFi layer 3 switch, the VLAN 88, no issue. From 88, let me ping the pfSense VLAN 10. They can access each other without any problem, right? What I want to achieve in this video is this type of access. Between the two pfSense VLAN, I want to isolate them. Between the VLAN 20 and the VLAN 66, they are managed one by pfSense, the other one by UniFi switch. I want to isolate them. And the same situation for VLAN 20 and the VLAN 88. For VLAN 66 with VLAN 88, they are both managed by the UniFi switch, not by pfSense. Let's see how we can isolate them. And then for the two green ones, I want to keep their current access. Okay, so let's see how we can achieve this type of access among the 4 VLANs. Let's start with the simplest one, between VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. This is between two pfSense VLANs. Just regular firewall rules will achieve this isolation effect. I won't waste your time. I already created 2 simple firewall rules. First, in VLAN 10, block the access to VLAN 20 subnets. In VLAN 20, block the access to VLAN 10. Okay, they are already activated. Let's quickly validate it. From VLAN 10, ping VLAN 20. Yep, blocked. From VLAN 20, let me ping VLAN 10. Yep, blocked as well. Okay, so this is easy and it's already successful. Move on to this one, which is the complicated situation between a pfSense VLAN and a UniFi layer 3 switch VLAN. When we say isolation, it implies 2 directions. So we need to block access from VLAN 20 to VLAN 66 and vice versa. The access from VLAN 66 and the VLAN 20 should also be blocked. Let's start with this direction from VLAN 20 to VLAN 66. In pfSense, for VLAN 20 firewall rules, let me add one action. Let me say block. Interface VLAN 20, correct. For protocol, let me say any. For source, I don't care as long as it's inbound to VLAN 20. Then for destination, in the dropdown, you won't find VLAN 66 because pfSense is not aware of the existence of VLAN 66. But you can easily create a subnet for VLAN 66, just like this, 24. This is the subnet for VLAN 66. Save it. Apply changes. So now the firewall rule is active. Let's test it. In the VLAN 20 Linux, let me ping VLAN 66. It doesn't work, right? But if we do a ping from VLAN 66 to VLAN 20, see? We are still able to ping it. Why? As I mentioned, the firewall rule we just added only apply to this direction. To apply to this direction, we need to create another firewall rule. However, in pfSense, in this section, you won't see VLAN 66. Then how you can even create a firewall rule, right? Because all the traffics from VLAN 66 to VLAN 20 need to go via the VLAN 4040 into pfSense. So VLAN 4040 is the place where we need to create the firewall rule. Let me do that. Add a new one. Action block. Interface VLAN 4040. Protocol any. And the source. Here I want to specify the subnet because I don't want to keep it any. If I say any here, I will also block other VLANs, including VLAN 88, even though for our case, we also want to block VLAN 88. But think about it, if you have any other VLANs, if you say any here, you will also block other VLANs. We don't want to do that. So here I want to be very specific. I want to say network. And then for source network, let me put the subnet for VLAN 66, right? And then for destination, here I can easily say VLAN 20 subnet. Okay, we are done. Save it. Apply changes. Then let's test it. From VLAN 66, let me run the exact same ping. See, Now it's not working. Great, right? And just to be safe, because at this moment we haven't done this part yet, so for VLAN 88 it should still be able to ping 20. Let me validate it. Yeah, exactly as what we expect. That means this firewall rule we just created only applied to the source VLAN 66. And to support this one, of course, you need to create another one for VLAN 88. So basically, we are done with this red line already, because the other red line for VLAN 88 is exactly the same. I will skip it for this video. Let me move on to VLAN 66 and VLAN 88. To isolate the networks which are managed by your L3 switch, for example VLAN 66 and 88, you cannot simply go to pfSense and manage the firewall rules there. The reason is pfSense doesn't know 66 and 88. The only way to do that is to use the new Ubiquiti network controllers feature for L3 network isolation using ACL. Let's go to the network setting, and you see here L3 network isolation. Let me enable it, create an entry. Let's see what's available as source network. Only two, only 66 and 88. In the background, you can still see for the UniFi network, we have default VLAN 1 and VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 4040. They are not available as the network to isolate. The reason is we are not using Ubiquiti's router. Ubiquiti doesn't want you to use ACL to touch the non-UniFi switch managed network, third-party gateway managed VLANs, so it only shows you the L3 switch VLANs. As I explained in my previous video, the sequence doesn't matter. Here you can select 66, and for destination you say 88, or the other way. The end result is the same. Correct. Ubiquiti dramatically limited the L3 ACL functionality. In fact, in backend, the command line supports much more features, but in frontend, at this moment, Ubiquiti only open up the two-direction whole network isolation. Let's validate it from VLAN 66. Let me ping VLAN 88. Okay, not pingable. Then from 88, let me ping 66. Also not pingable. So we are done with this red line as well. As the very last step, let's validate the two green lines. They are still green from VLAN 10. Let me ping VLAN 66. Yeah, still pingable. Then let's say from VLAN 88, let me ping VLAN 10. Yeah, pingable. For pfSense scenario, only this particular one is able to be achieved using ACL. For all others, we have to rely on pfSense firewall rules. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.